So the best thing about studying art history at Fordham, I would say, are two things. One, the department is a great size. It's small enough to get to know all the professors and their interests, but it's still big enough to add diversity and have a great range of interests within the staff. Second thing is for sure the fact that we are in New York City, so America's greatest museums are right around the corner.
The best thing about being an art history major at Fordham is the access to pretty much unlimited resources. The faculty are always telling us about different gallery exhibitions coming up, museums, and internship opportunities, so I feel extremely connected.
Art history to me is the analytical and visual study of cultural and societal diversities.
I would say that art history to me is specifically the study of human history, humans' moods, opinions, thoughts, feelings through art. So art happens always, and it basically provides a snapshot of how society feels at that moment, religiously, politically, socially, etc.
So a memorable experience within an art history classroom was with Professor Meadows Rogers in his art and ethics course I took last year. We were talking about Maritain, which is a philosopher, and sort of everything that we were discussing in class, everything started to sort of click in my head about why I did art history and why I loved it so much. And then that actually has propelled me to continue pursuing art history and philosophical aesthetics, which is sort of a branch of philosophy involved in art. And I think that was sort of like the turning point for me and what art history meant. Like it went from being just an academic pursuit to being more personal.
So the most beneficial experience for me outside of the classroom so far has been being able to go to the Art and Architecture Room, which is a hidden room in the New York Public Library that's closed off to the public. Nobody who is just a visitor is allowed in there besides just researchers. And being able to just go there and connect what I'm learning is the foundational text of senior seminar and what I'm studying and have studied in gender and modern art, and connecting them to just be able to work on my thesis in an academic environment has been really inspiring.
I would say one of the most valuable skills that art history has taught me so far is definitely writing and comparing concepts. Paintings or works of art can be very similar and very dissimilar, and you still have to compare them and understand how they relate to each other in the greater scheme of the history of art. So I think you're forced to really marry two concepts or distinguish between very similar concepts, which I think is very useful in the real world. Also, I go back to this art history timeline. Art history gives you a very fun and interesting perception of the history of mankind, and that's a very unique thing you really don't really get in business or accounting or finance.
I've actually had quite a few internships related to art history. I think the most memorable ones was when I was chosen by this Filipino company to write copy and do research for one of their landmark exhibitions to the Vatican Museum regarding Filipino Spanish churches. The exhibition actually never came into fruition at the Vatican, but it's currently doing a tour in Spain, and I think it's going to Germany. So it was really exciting for me to be a part of that and to do the research and to know that this very important exhibition is something that I've helped create. And the second one was I most recently had an internship at Christie's, the auction house, and that also gave me sort of an understanding or an option to go into for art once I graduated. So I think that those two were particularly memorable. I've also had internships at Independent Curators International. They're a great group of people to work with, and I've also worked as a project manager at a graphic design firm. So those are my experiences.
After graduation, I've already started thinking about my plans. I am enrolled in grad school at the College of New Rochelle, pursuing a master's in public administration. And it's designed for people that are interested in government work, but also not-for-profits. And a lot of museums and related academic institutions in the art world are not-for-profits. Hopefully I can take this degree in a few years and apply it to a job in an academic journal, preferably one related to the arts.
There are 3 career paths that I'm looking to pursue that I can use my art history degree for post-graduation. And the first one I have the most interest in right now is art law and art restitution. So I could work in places such as the FBI on their art crime team that investigates art theft and the return of art to their rightful owners.
So before I came to Fordham, I was actually homeschooled. And I did not study the humanities at all. And as soon as I took Maria Ruvalt's class, intro class, my freshman year, it sort of changed my understandings. And then continuing to take humanities at Fordham has really helped me grow and develop as a person in a way that I didn't know I could. I think, expanded my mind so much more and being more open to different fields, different interests, and so now I'm very grateful to have this humanity-based education.
The humanities overall have made me a better visual analyzer, communicator, and a better writer. Overall, I am also able to make connections between all of the disciplines within the humanities. I'm in a course called Art and Ethics right now, which focuses on philosophical thought of Plato, Aristotle, and Horace and their connection to the art field. Or I'm also taking a contemporary women poets class that focuses on artwork and poets who are inspired by artwork. So being able to realize that art history is just another foundation within the humanities that allows for so many broader connections within the humanities at large.